As disappointing as this season has been, we have actually managed to beat Chelsea for the first time. We've managed to beat Wolves for the first time as well. So maybe today we can beat Liverpool for the first time too. Probably not though. Hello everyone and welcome back to more Norwich City, bouncing back, and it is going to be the FA Cup semi-final today against Liverpool. Our first trip to Wembley. In this save, it's basically all we've got to play for. Well, it is the only thing we've got to play for in terms of winning anything, and may actually end up being our only route into Europe because it's getting very, very tight in the Premier League table. That will be coming up later, but first we will be playing West Brom in an absolutely must-win Premier League game, and we've played 3 Premier League games since last time. The full set of results: a win, a draw, and a defeat. First time in a couple of years that we have not been in Europe at this stage of the season. Of course, last time out, brutally dispatched by Real Madrid in the Champions League. But we are still in the FA Cup, so we've got that to focus on. And of course, we've got to wrap up that European qualification. It's going to be more difficult, though, because of these results. Good result, first of all. We beat Tottenham, came from behind, 2 goals late on, including an injury time for once for us. Adam Eder, he's not scored much this season, but 2 crucial goals in this game as we beat Spurs. That was an absolutely vital win. And then we didn't manage to beat West Ham. This was a game we absolutely dominated, and yet we only got a draw from it. Adam Eder got injured in the 26th minute. He will be missing at least the first game today. You can see the average ratings. We were so good, apart from really James Maddison has been frankly awful this season. But yeah, we should have won. Unfortunately, we didn't take our chances. Dele Alli missed a penalty in the 50th minute. He will never be taking a penalty again. It was not ideal. We really should have got all 3 points. And then we lost 2-0 to Manchester City. Pretty standard 2-0 defeat. It was a pretty good performance, at least from Jack Butland and some of the defenders, but we didn't really have much opportunity, and they deservedly won. So here's the league table then. Liverpool have actually completely run away with it. They've had a tight challenge most of the time. They did actually lose one of the titles to Man City a couple of years ago, but otherwise they've been dominant. But this year, it normally goes down to the final day, but not this time. They have absolutely run away with it and have won with 6 games to spare. But we're concerned about, as much as I'd love to qualify for the Champions League, that is now impossible. It's only going to be whether we can get into the Europa League once again, or whether it's going to be Euro Cup 2. We are currently in 5th place, however, we are on 54 points, level with Brighton. Our goal difference is massively better than theirs, which is good, but they have got a game in hand, as have Aston Villa, who are 2 points behind, as have Spurs, who are 4 points behind. So, yep, it's going to be difficult. We still have to play Liverpool and Chelsea in the Premier League. West Brom, Blackburn, Newcastle, you'd hope we get some points there. Any drop points in those 3 games, and we may not even qualify for Euro Cup 2. But West Bromwich Albion, first of all, let's see what we can do. And I'm thinking, at home, we might use the other system. I have been using this to start with, switching it up to this as well, but then also have actually been making the tweak. This is what worked against Spurs, literally the same system as the 4-2-3-1, but literally the absolute basic factory gegenpress instructions, which, I don't know, seems to have worked a little bit. But I think West Brom are a difficult side for us. We often have issues against them. I think we'll go with this from the start, but I'm prepared to change things up after a few minutes. The team is going to be looking like this. Jack Butland in goal, who frankly, and I shouldn't really say this, but frankly has been really quite good since he's come in place of Nick Pope. He's done well when called upon. Lewis, Mep and Tarkowski and Aarons is going to be the defence. The recent form of these two has been very solid. I mean, Tarkowski is our most informed player. I can't really justify dropping him. Cook, Phillips and Ali is the midfield. Need to see more from them. Compared to last season, this is quite interesting, really. The defence, the ratings, the average ratings of the defence, all of them are above a 7. Midfield, not so much. Attackers, not so much. It's the wings letting us down. Buendia's done okay. Maddison has not been good enough, really. But then really, neither is Cantwell or Lookman either. And then strikers, they've been letting us down all season. Callum Wilson gets the nod today because Adam Eder, as said, is not fit for this one. He should be back for the semi-final against Liverpool, but then I'd not sure I'd even want to play him anyway. Much to ponder over the summer, I think. Of course, it depends on where we end up and how much money we have to spend, but I think it's a case of just getting better players in potentially, but maybe the system needs to be looked at. Certainly the attacking aspects of it. Right, this is, on paper, one of our most straightforward games. We need to be getting this done. Blackburn, you'd hope. Newcastle having a dangerous season, but they're nearly going to get relegated potentially. But this one, we need to be winning this game. If otherwise, we're going to be in real danger of not getting any European football next season, which we have said maybe might not be the worst thing ever in terms of focusing on the league and trying to get in the Champions League that way. But I think in terms of reputation, we need to be doing it. And already we've got a highlight, which is West Brom coming forwards. Tackle comes from Cook, but only as far as Almiron. Are we going to try and win this back? Maybe. I praise the defence. They've been doing well, but this is awful. Felipe Anderson is offside though, but not a great start. Don't really seem to be making any sort of effort to stop them there. Early warning sign, and we're not really doing anything at all in response to it. I think I'm not going to sit here and wait. We need to kind of just sort of, maybe it's just this season, I don't know, but we need to sort of cycle through these. Nothing else to really work. In fact, what I'm going to do, I am going to go straight to the basic gegenpress instructions and just see. That seems to have worked quite well. Obviously now we're recording, it won't. Obviously now we're recording, it will go wrong. Can we just try and win the ball back maybe and stop West Brom from having an attack? We've done so briefly, but then immediately given it away again. Phillips though does make the interception, and this is sort of a continuation between that our regular tactic. Buendia with an opportunity manages to get the ball back after it being blocked. Edge of the area for Lewis Cook. It's a brilliant strike, but it hits the post. But we're coming forwards again now. We can get a couple of goals, then I think we'll be fine. It's just we haven't been clinical at all. It's not even whatever system we use. It's not like we're not creating chances. It's just we're not taking them. Worked it nicely there. Buendia, it was put off a little bit and it went wide. Well, certainly more positive since we made the change. We've had some chances, but not good enough. We need to be winning this one. Home game against West Brom. They're down in 15th. That's only courtesy of the point that they're currently about to get. We need to be winning this one. Still absolutely nothing to show for it. Madison is going to go off because he's been, quite frankly, one of the biggest wastes of money that I've ever had on the game. Not what I was expecting at all. Already an hour gone. Still no breakthrough. West Brom caused us problems in the earlier game this season. Of course, we nearly threw away all 3 points. A late corner goal from us gave us all three after they equalised minutes before. But this one, I mean, they're sitting very deep, so maybe we need to change things up with that one. Dele Alli with the shot though, coming from distance. That is what we need to get the breakthrough. Finally, a little bit of luck and a little bit of quality. Finally get a bit of space for Buendia to run into. He looks up, plays the cross into the box, and Dele Alli is there to fire home for his 13th of the season. Going to keep the system the same for now. We want to see if we can get another goal if possible. That would be really ideal to prevent any last minute heartbreak. I'm going to bring on Murray McCanny because Callum Wilson's not playing particularly well. Everyone else is looking alright. I'm going to kind of risk leaving them out there. Final few minutes, we might need to sort of tighten things up a little bit. West Brom are trying to get an equaliser. If we can get a second though, that would be the best way to deal with it. Lookman finds Buendia, lots of space for him to run into again. Can he find a cross in once more? He's been fouled. It's probably going to be a penalty. We need to just, I think I've already done it. I just want to check. Dele Alli is absolutely not taking this penalty, but I'm slightly concerned that, all the other options who are better than him are not on the pitch. So I don't know what we do in this situation. I mean, do we give it to McCanny? I don't think we do. Obviously, we get a penalty after I've taken off Madison, I've taken off Wilson. Adam Eade is not in his side. It's going to have to be Dele Alli. He's missed, I think, his last 3 penalties. So surely he's got 1 out of 4. Come on, Dele, you can do this. Just hit the target. He's managed to do it. I'm shocked. He's scored. We're 2-0 up. Second of the game for Dele. That's a relief. He's literally missed his last 3. I mean, never in doubt. Composure, bottom corner. That's what we expect from him. And this is looking like 3 points. And indeed, it is 3 points. Absolutely vital. And perhaps this or some slight adaptation of it It's worked at times this season, but with these instructions, maybe this is the way forwards. And with that win, we move on to 57 points. 2 games played more than all the teams chasing us, but 57. We've needed around 60 to get in Europe every season so far. Slightly higher than that. So we're not too far off our totals from recent years. It just obviously this season has been quite a massive letdown after our early promise. I mean, generally speaking, it is actually quite similar to what we were playing anyway, just sort of slightly less instructions, especially in sort of in possession. We're not working into the box, which is something we've considered taking off anyway. It's the width that's different. It's more narrow than that. Potentially something we can tweak. Certainly some of the transition ones, I think maybe distributing to the fullbacks as well, but broadly speaking, not too dissimilar to what we were doing anyway, but just sort of maybe slightly more attacking, and certainly seems at the moment to be slightly more effective. But one of the main things we've really learnt this season is just we need to not just use the same thing all the time. It's worked so far, but this season, we just need to switch things up. That's been the most effective thing. Right then, Liverpool, we're off to Wembley to probably lose. So you know what? We might as well go. We've never beaten them with anything we've done before. We're just going to try and just play them at their own game. We'll go with this. We'll go with the basic gegenpress instructions and see what we can do. Adam is back from injury. He comes straight into the starting lineup, and otherwise, there's no changes. There's no changes at all. Although I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking maybe James Maddison needs to be dropped. He is, well, I mean, he's gone down to 3 stars because he's just been terrible. Just been awful. I don't know whether his injury last season affected him. I don't know. It's been, well, he's actually matched his season from last year, but his average rating is so bad. It's a big game. We might get some set pieces. We're going to keep him in there. That's what we're going to do. Well, it's safe to say Liverpool are taking it seriously, which, I mean, it's nice to be respected, but at the same time, it's going to be difficult to beat. The good news is that Arsenal lost 3-0 to Chelsea in the other semi-final, so if we do manage to get past them, we won't be winning it. We won't be winning it. I mean, we have beaten them once. You can pick up where you left off against West Brom. We'll make it to the final, which I don't think is going to happen, but you know what? All we can do is try. We've had some amazing wins this season in what's been a largely terrible season. As I said, beating Chelsea and Wolves for the first time. Can we beat Liverpool for the first time as well? Well, 20 minutes in, we've not had a single shot, which is good. Both of our fullbacks have been booked, which is good as well. But equally, we haven't conceded. That's probably the most important thing. Well, I hope the tickets weren't expensive, because that was one of the most boring halves of football Wembley has ever witnessed. We're still in it. It's 0-0. There is absolutely nothing to report. I mean, all I can say is I'm happy because we're not losing 5-0. Obviously, though, there's a highlight after the break very quickly, and it's Liverpool, because we weren't going to be able to hold out for too long. Milinkovic-Savic, edge of the area. It's a fish shot. He's not far away. Hour gone. Still nothing else to report. This game is incredibly dull. Liverpool have apparently had 2 clear-cut chances, only one of which was actually worth seeing, but we're holding firm at the moment. We're not doing anything else in terms of creating in any way. Maddison is not playing well, so he's going to come off. He's tired as well. We'll bring on Lookman against the former Merseyside rival. Ida's also having a terrible game, so we'll bring on Callum Wilson as well. Liverpool have matched our formation. They're going for it a bit more. And we need to take off Max Aarons. He's on a booking and he's very, very tired. Everyone's getting very tired, but we're going to have to play for half an hour more at the moment. It's looking like extra time. We've not had any shots for pretty much the entire second half. This is ridiculous. This is the most boring game ever. We've managed to survive, though. 90 minutes with Liverpool. If this was a league game, we've got the league game coming up, we'd be getting a point. But it's not. It's a cup game. We appear to just be playing for penalties. We're doing absolutely nothing, yet we still are holding firm. Finally, it's a highlight. It's for Liverpool though, so that's great. Only the second highlight of nearly 100 minutes of football, and Pedrosa nearly scores. Everyone's tired. I'm going to take off Buendia because he's also not playing particularly well. We're getting to half time in extra time. There's been 2 highlights. None of them have been for us. Liverpool have had so many chances. We are keeping them at bay. This is ridiculous. It's such a shame we have such terrible penalty takers. And, yep, here we go, though. Here's the late heartbreak. Corner comes in. It's bounced down. We've cleared it away. Lookman he's kicked it out for a throw. No attempt at a counter whatsoever. I mean, I'm just looking at we've managed to go to penalties. We've gone to penalties. We've survived. We've done nothing all game. But we've kept them at bay. The average ratings wasn't really paying attention. We barely saw him make a save at any point because all the highlights went wide. But Jack Butland got an 8.3 at last count. Mepham and Tarkowski were fantastic. Didn't see any of it, but I guess it was great. Right, penalties. Penalties. We're going to put Callum Wilson on first. Dele Alli, of course, scored for the first time in ages in the last match, so he's going to go second. And then really, we'll just kind of leave it. No one else is particularly... I guess, yeah, probably Cantwell third, although he is anxious, so maybe not. We'll put Lookman in ahead of him. We'll put Phillips in ahead of him as well. It will actually let me do that. If it will actually do that, there we go. In fact, let's literally not risk it at all. We don't want him to be taking the potentially decisive one. We'll put Tarkowski and we'll put Cook above him as well. This is a terrible menu. Why aren't you working? There we go. Thank you. And then the rest of it, we will just leave. I'm so proud of your efforts. Keep going. It really is true. I can't believe we managed to survive for this length of time. Let's get to it. Right, finally, we're going to see some action. It's a penalty shootout. We've seen barely anything in this game. Jack Butland has apparently had the game of his life, and if he could save some penalties, that would be good. He's not saved Firmino's effort. We're already behind. It's an ominous start. Callum Wilson, we need him to score. Never taken a penalty for us before, and that's probably why. Brilliant. Great start. We put you up first, Callum. You've hit the bloody post. So, great start already. This is probably... It's been for nothing. Fabio Silva scored. So they're 2-0 up already. And we're reliant. Now we've got Dele Alli. He's scored 1 in 4 penalties in his last efforts. And he's scored that one though, so that's good. We're in it, but we need Jack Butland to be making a save. He's got to save at least one to give us a chance. Milinkovic-Savic versus Butland is pretty easy. Why? Callum Wilson, he's a striker and he missed a penalty. It's shocking. Calvin Phillips has had his effort saved. Great. Glad I moved you up the list. And, I mean, this is going to be over very, very quickly. If Locatelli scores, Liverpool go through because we are unable to take penalties. I took all the good penalty takers off in the game and they've scored. So that was fun, wasn't it? We've sat through 120 minutes to go out in one of the worst attempts at a penalty shootout ever seen. We scored 1. Callum Wilson, employed as a striker, couldn't even hit the target. And then Calvin Phillips missed as well. That was offensively a terrible performance. Jack Butland, though, he did well in the game. Say I'm pleased with the performance, although Callum Wilson is going to be fined because he was apparently one of the worst professional footballers ever seen at this ground. So there we go. I mean, we didn't... It was just one of the weirdest games ever because we apparently, from a defensive point of view, were outstanding. We just didn't see anything. And then we lost a penalty shootout in one of the most pathetic fashions I've ever seen. But you know what? That's something at least. We've got £1 million for it. At least we've got £1 million. Jack Butland made 13 saves and actually gets man of the match. Well, that's pretty good. So there we are then. Disappointing. We won't be winning anything this season after what we did last year. But, well, yeah, that's football really, isn't it? That is football. 4 games left to see if we can get the Premier League. I'm going to be using that tactic again against Liverpool in the league game because if we can get a point against them, that would be really good. It is, well, it's looking tight. It's looking difficult. Brighton still have 2 games in hand. Aston Villa won one of their games in hand. So, yep. I mean, if we beat Blackburn and Newcastle, I think we'll probably get in the Europa League, hopefully. If we get anything against Liverpool and Chelsea, that will obviously help that. Any dropped points in these last 2 games, which will be coming up next time, then we're in all sorts of bother. But that is going to be that for today. One of the weirdest pairs of games I have ever seen. This was one of the weirdest games that I have ever played. Just very, very, very odd. But that is going to be that. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe as well so you don't miss next time. Can we do what we've done for the last 4 years and finish either 5th or 6th and get in the Europa League? We're not making as much progress as I would like, but this is kind of the nature of the save, really. We are very limited in who we can sign. We've kind of reached the upper limit of all the players we can get. There's not really anyone out there who's better than what we've got, who we can A, afford, and B, actually wants to join us. So it's going to be a bit of a long slog, but there we go.